How's it going, everybody? I'm Michael, and today we're going through our list for 2019's most anticipated films. This is part 2. On Friday, we went through part 1, which were more of the bigger studio films, and so today we're going through some of the smaller, mid to low budget films. Also, the first 5 films on my list all have trailers, and I'm going to link them in the description below, because like most indie films, some of them are really out there, and me talking about them isn't going to give you an accurate idea of what these films are like. So I really suggest going in, checking out the trailers, and seeing if it's going to be something you're interested in. Hey everybody, so turns out that after we recorded this video, we found out that one of the films on our list did have a higher production budget than we initially thought, like way higher. So we ended up just scratching it from the list. There's only going to be 4 trailers linked in the description below, but you should definitely check those out. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Here we go.
First up is Arctic, and you're not going to have to wait too long on this one because it is being released on February 1st. I'm super excited for this, not just because it stars Mads Mikkelsen, who is always fantastic, but also because it is the feature film debut from director Joe Penna. Now, he recently did a short film called Turning Point that I absolutely loved, and I highly recommend you check it out. I'm going to link it in the description below, and there's also a really cool BTS video on how they made Turning Point that is well worth a watch. Now, like a lot of these survival movies, the synopsis is pretty straightforward. Mads Mikkelsen's plane crash lands in the Arctic tundra, and he is one of 2 survivors. Now, with a storm incoming, he has to get them both to safety. Even though a lot of survival films have these kind of basic premises, I really enjoy them because they allow talented actors to give some very nuanced performances, and Mads Mikkelsen is someone who can tell you exactly what he's feeling just with his expression. Ever since he first started out in television, Jordan Peele has been surprising us with just how talented he really is. His first film, Get Out, was a huge success and a cultural milestone. His follow-up, simply titled Us, seems to double down on the dark intensity of Get Out while still providing a deep psychological commentary on today's society, and it looks absolutely incredible and terrifying. The film stars Lupita Nyong'o and Winston Duke, who shared the screen in Black Panther and are both incredible actors. I cannot wait to see them in this, and we're not going to have to wait too long because the film comes out on March 22nd. This next film is definitely going to be one you just want to watch the trailer for because it looks absolutely nuts. It's directed by Harmony Korine and it's called The Beach Bum. It stars Matthew McConaughey as a beach bum who is struggling with drug addiction and alcoholism but is just trying to live his best life. McConaughey seems perfect for this role, and we'll also get to see Isla Fisher and, of course, the king of stoners, Snoop Dogg himself.
Moondog, you look like shit.
I look like I always look.
What is wrong with you?
I'm fine.
Next up is John Wick Chapter 3. Now, this is one that may not seem like it qualifies as an indie film, but it definitely fits that mid to low budget range. Both John Wick Chapter 1 and 2 were done for under $50 million, and this one isn't expected to go too much higher than that, so we included it on this list. What excites me most about this is that Chad Stahelski is returning to direct Chapter 3, and he did such a great job with the first 2 that I'm sure this one is going to be awesome. We're also getting Lawrence Fishburne's character returning, as well as Ian McShane's. Plus, alongside our dog-loving, gung-fu fighting hero, we're going to be getting Halle Berry joining the franchise as a character named Sophia, and she seems to be partnering up with John Wick, so this is going to be so much fun.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Number 5 on our list is Under the Silver Lake. Now, this is from the director of It Follows, and it stars Andrew Garfield as a young man named Sam who falls in love with a mysterious woman named Sarah. When she suddenly disappears, Sam begins finding a strange code scattered around LA that he believes is linked to her disappearance. This is another one you should definitely check the trailer out for because it looks really crazy and a ton of fun.
Memorize, words hypnotize.
Really think you're gonna find a hidden message in a pop song?
1, 2, 3. Can't quite see it, but I'm close.
Honey, how are you?
Mom, I'm fine. Mostly fine.
Now, the next couple films on my list do not have official release dates. They're scheduled for sometime in late 2019, and we still don't know a ton about them, so I'm gonna get through them a little more rapid fire. First up, we have A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Now, this is the film starring Tom Hanks as the beloved Mr. Rogers, and we don't know much more about it other than it's covering a time period in his life where there was an expose being done about him, and it's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Won't you please, won't you be my neighbor?
Next up is The Parasite, directed by Joon-ho Bong. Now, he's the guy who did Okja, Snowpiercer, and The Host, all of which I thought were fantastic movies. Now, the only thing we know about this so far is that it follows a family of 4 who all have unique characteristics. Whatever that means, I am sure we're going to be in for one hell of a ride from one of the best directors I've seen in a long time. The second to last film on our list is probably the one I'm most excited for, and this is The Lighthouse. The film is a dark horror fantasy that follows Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and we don't know much about it other than that the two will be encountering supernatural events based on nautical mythology. Now, not only is that a super interesting premise, but also the film was shot on black and white 35mm film stock, and according to Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, it was one of the hardest sets they had ever been on, with incredibly harsh weather conditions.
Let's get on with this.
We are down to the last movie on our most anticipated list, and in my opinion, we saved the best for last. The film is called Jojo Rabbit, and it's directed by Taika Waititi, who's fresh off the success of Thor Ragnarok. And while I really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, I first fell in love with him for his smaller films such as Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows. The film follows a young boy named Jojo who lives in Nazi Germany during the 1940s. Shortly after joining Hitler's Youth, he discovers that his mother has been hiding a young Jewish girl in their home and has to figure out what to do. Now, this seems like a very dramatic concept, but this is Taika Waititi, so things are never going to be as they seem. It turns out that Jojo has an imaginary friend who appears to him in the form of Adolf Hitler. Who's playing Adolf Hitler? Well, Taika Waititi himself. Now, this subject matter can be incredibly sensitive, and if it was anyone else other than Taika Waititi, the film would probably never get greenlit. But in his hands, I am sure we are going to get something that is not only comedic, but incredibly heartfelt and personal.
You know, sometimes in life, it seems like there's no way out. Like a sheep trapped in a maze designed by wolves.
Alright, well that is it for our list of 2019's most anticipated films. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's a little shorter than the last one because we're still finding out some of the details about these films and they're a little further off, but I cannot wait to see them. So if any of the films on our list sounded interesting to you, be sure to mark them off on your calendar so you can go see them when they hit theaters, and leave a comment down below letting us know what some of your thoughts are and what films you're looking forward to this year. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.